YouTube, good morning. Today we are at the Odessa Auto Auction, and I'm going to teach you guys how to check a used vehicle before you purchase in 5 minutes. Let's get straight into it. One of the perks of working at the auction trying to find cars is you always find some goodies. It's hot out here today, it's about 95 degrees, and my eyes just ain't ready for it, so got my shades on today. Let's rock. Yes, I will wear some shades I found in the car. Don't judge me. Let's go. All right, you guys. So today we're going to be looking at a 2020 Nissan Altima. This is a full-size sedan. This is a great car, and this is definitely something that I would purchase to put on my lot to sell to you guys. I really like Nissan Altimas. I think they're very reliable, very low maintenance, and they have a lot of little bells and whistles, and they are very affordable. All right, guys. To start, what I always do is I look at the body of the car. This car is in pretty good shape, besides the fact that it has a couple scratches and nicks here and there, but that's very reasonable considering the mileage is about 150,000. And that's something you guys have to always take into account, is the condition of the vehicle compared to the price, compared to the market value. So the first thing that we're gonna do, this is the most important I think by far, is we're going to take our OBD2 scanner. You can get a great OBD2 scanner at Harbor Freight, online, on Amazon. I highly recommend that you get one that is digital, that is colored, because it is very easy to read when they're colored. There are some scanners out there that even me, who's been doing this for almost 8 years now, I have trouble reading, and it's just not that straightforward. And when you're checking hundreds of cars like me a day, you need something that's easy. Not to mention, this is very affordable. This costs $50, comes with a 90-day warranty. And seriously, if you take care of this, things will last for years. All right, so the OBD2 port depends on the vehicle. You can always look it up, very easy. Just ask Google location for the OBD2 port. Typically this is over here, but it's hanging today. So we're gonna go ahead and just plug it in. The scanner is turning on. Takes a little bit of time to read the system. And as you can see, this car has some codes, and it has several monitors that are incomplete, the red ones. Whenever it's green, that means that the monitors have been complete. So ideally what you're looking for is for all the monitors to be green, and for it to say right here where this stored code is, that there are no DTCs found in the system. That means that the car has completed its monitor cycles and that the car has found no errors in the computer module. That is an absolutely great starting point, and I would highly recommend that you look for vehicles until you find one that has all the monitors cleared and has no DTC stored in the computer. That is very common, and you should not settle for less unless it is a very straightforward code that has either been fixed or you plan on to repair very soon. Because some of these codes could be something as simple as a gas cap. So don't overlook what could be a great deal just because you get afraid that there's one code. Some codes outweigh the others, and if you look right here, sorry that it's not really focusing, but you can read the code. This code is P0300, which is a misfire. That means the car has a problem with either the spark plugs, the coil pack, or something even more severe. So that's something I'd probably stay astray from, especially as a first-time buyer. For me, I'm very confident in Nissan. I know typically these are just the spark plugs, and depending on how it drives, I can really kind of make a decision off of that. Engine sounds good. I'm very confident that this probably does just need spark plugs, but I just want to be as thorough as possible with you guys because most cars are not Nissan Altimas, and there's a lot of cars where a misfire code can be an absolute nightmare. And to give you an example of what the monitors are supposed to look like when they have gone through all the drive cycles, this is what you're looking for. All the monitors to be completed and no DTCs found in the computer. That means there are no codes stored in the computer module, nothing is pending, and all cycles have finished. So that is a clean slate when it comes to reading a computer module in a vehicle. The next thing I want to go over with you guys is popping the hood. You always want to have the car turned off whenever checking the fluids. All right, pry the hood open, prop it up. Right here, as you can see, and this is something I'll just tell you as somebody who's been doing this for a while, these are the coil packs for your spark plugs. It does not look like any of them have been changed. So there's a great chance that this car just needs the coils and spark plugs replaced. One thing that is very important is always check your coolant reservoir. It's going to be either on this side of the car or this side of the car, and it's going to have a fluid inside, whether it's green, blue, red, dependent on the make and model of the car. One thing I also highly recommend, but you can never do this while it's hot, is to feel the lines and open this up very slowly. A little bit of coolant might leak out, but there's a lot of hidden details sometimes in the coolant lines that people don't tell you. There could be oil being mixed inside. There could be just a lot of gunk that could be a much bigger problem in the future. Whenever your coolant system is flowing, it's going to clog up and cause the car to potentially overheat. Another thing that is very important is you always want to look underneath of your oil cap. If there is moisture inside of here because the coolant is getting into the engine due to a failing head gasket, there will be a lot. Sometimes there's a little bit, and this does not mean that your car has a bad head gasket, but sometimes there's a little bit of condensation and white frothing. But if there is a tremendous amount of white frothing, that could very easily be a blown head gasket. And if you have a blown head gasket, you should see smokes of clouds coming out of the exhaust. You will not be able to use your heat in the car, and the car should be overheating very quickly. So one thing I would certainly recommend is that you let the car idle for a while, you check out all of these components, you scan the vehicle, you obviously check the tire tread, and then the most important thing, after all of these boxes have been checked off and you've made your decision whether or not you want to continue to move forward with the car, you have to take it for a drive. There has been so many times at the auction, and some of these auctions don't even let you drive, which sucks, but dealerships like myself, independent buyers who have nothing to hide, should have no problem with letting you take it down the street. They can accompany you, of course, to make sure their car doesn't get stolen. But driving a car is the most important way to know for sure that it's good. You know, there's a lot of times where all the monitors are going to be green and everything is going to look great and the car's transmission is completely fried and it doesn't even drive. So keep that in mind. Just because you have all monitors green does not mean that the car is a great car. There's been plenty of times I have bought in cars where I was not able to drive. Sounds great, transmission is gone. And you know, that's something us dealers take on the chin, because our job is to go and learn how to check these cars out as best as we can, take the risks necessary to put good cars on the lot for you guys to come by. But I'm here to teach you guys how to at least know what is a good car and what isn't, so in case you come across a deal, in case you come across a car on our dealership page, private party, whatever the case is, you know how to check it so you don't get burned. And I'll be honest, most people are doing the right thing, being upfront, being transparent, but there's a lot of people who don't do that. And I'm here to make sure that you don't get burned, because I know you guys are working hard for your money. It's not an easy game, and nobody likes car problems, because once you have a car that's broken down and there's something wrong with it, it's typically going to cost a lot, and it's just going to be a headache, and you're going to wish you never had it. That is the worst thing that happens when buying a car. And this probably goes without being said, but make sure you guys check all the functions of your car, your Bluetooth, your air conditioning controls, the controls on your steering wheel. Sometimes these things can look like they're working, and then the car might not connect to your phone's Bluetooth, and that can feel like problematic. But aside from that, things are typically pretty straightforward fixes on these. Make sure you check your window regulators, make sure all your windows go up and down. When you're shopping for cars under 10,000, it's very common that the car has something that doesn't work. And that doesn't mean it's a deal breaker, but you should at least be aware of it before you purchase, so that you know whether or not you're going to fix something or if you're just going to live with it. Because there's nothing worse than buying a car, driving home, feeling like you got a deal, and then you start noticing all the things that were wrong with it. It feels a lot better when you take it up front. You have maybe a little bit of a negotiating tool. You can make a deal, get a couple $100 in your pocket, and then be understanding of the fact that you can fix it, or you can go use that money for something else. So now we're in the car, guys. We're here at ADESA, which I love. They have a test track. So we're gonna take the car down. Feels great so far. Here we go, guys. It actually feels very smooth. I don't feel the misfire whatsoever. It's probably just intermittent. The fact that the steering wheel is completely straight and I'm going straight is another thing that we need to check out for. This is your alignment. For example, if you're driving down and in order to go straight, your car's steering wheel needs to be like this, it needs an alignment. And sometimes if it's really off like this right here, it needs more than an alignment. It'll need some sort of suspension components. I would recommend as a first-time buyer that if your car has really bad alignment issues that you're looking at, to just pass on it and wait for a car that checks all the boxes, because things can get very expensive, especially if you don't have your own mechanic and you just go to some place and get quotes. It's not only a hassle, a waste of your time, but it's not going to be good for your pockets. The only thing that this car needs that I can hear is whenever I hit on the brakes, it's making quite a bit of noise, so probably just needs pads. Overall, this is a solid car, probably needs a tune-up. I wouldn't recommend that you buy one that already needs any sort of work. You know, let somebody who does this for a living take care of this, unless you want to just risk it. But I would highly recommend just buying a car where all the monitors are solid, the car drives well, and all the functions that you want work properly, and hopefully there's a good deal in it for you. Alrighty guys, we are parked back. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. Lastly guys, and this is actually one of the most important things you need to check at, is you need to check the underbody of your car. You need to check the frame, and you need to make sure that there's no rust and that everything looks clean, because whenever it comes time to get work done, whether it's brake changes, strut replacement, you need to make sure that the bolts aren't rusted, because it's going to be an absolute nightmare and they might never be able to fix your brakes or do any sort of maintenance. So what I can tell you is this car is very clean, has most likely always been Southern driven. All of the joints, as you can see, are very clean. All of the bolts look like they very easily be maneuvered off, and that is very, very important. There is nothing worse than buying what you think is a beautiful car and you get home or you go to the mechanics to get your brakes done and the car is completely rusted out. That is an absolute heartbreaker, and once the car starts to rust, you cannot really stop it from rusting. Yes, you can do an overspray, but once a car has been exposed to rust and moisture, it is a big problem. It is very important that if you're buying from a dealership, you ask for a Carfax report or an Equifax report. There is a lot of great information on these reports, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull one up for you guys here now. So this car shows you the retail value here. We typically price much lower than retail value. I would not recommend you paying retail value for a car. That is typically for people who are financing a car. If you're a cash customer, you can typically get 10 to 15% off of that price. Now, if the car is in absolutely excellent condition, you might be paying that price, but nonetheless, it's very important you look at the report. So this car is a one owner. It has had regular oil changes and did have an accident at some point. This is a commercial unit, and it has quite a bit of miles on it, 180,000. This is not something I would typically purchase, but it is a great car to check out and showcase to you guys. And I'll tell you what, it drove awesome. This is a great car, and it's a beautiful car. So here we've just got a lot of service work. This is early on in the car, prior to being, 100,000 miles. Service at the facility, service. Nothing really too extensive. It just continues to say service. Now, I'm not sure what facility this is, but a lot of places will be very specific as to what type of services are being done to the car. So it's great to have a report just to see. And the most important parts of this report are obviously the most recent years. So I always go to the bottom and I check the last year of service, and I check the full report. But most importantly, especially when purchasing, you want to check the most recent. If it says it had the transmission checked just 1,000 miles ago, there could be something problematic. What I like to see is constant oil changes and just inspections in the months prior to me purchasing a car. Really, I don't like to take risks. I don't think you guys should take risks. And if you're just looking for a good car, there's a lot of them out there. You just have to be willing to put the time in, look around a little bit, and really it's not very time consuming. You just have to know the strategy so that you don't get caught up looking at a car that's not good for you, and ultimately don't buy a bad car that's going to be a headache for a long time. Because once the car is bad and everybody knows, and if you're an honest person and you're going to tell the next guy, hey, my car is no good, but I'm trying to get it off, you're going to lose a lot of money. So I hope this video helped you guys out today. I'd be happy to redo this video and get into other aspects of the scanner, like the ABS module, which will show you if your car has maybe a bad wheel speed sensor or something. And those lights can be frightening, but half of the time they're very, very straightforward. It could be something as small as low brake fluid. And these times, whenever you hit the brakes hard, sometimes they burn a little bit of brake fluid. You just got to make sure it's not leaking. And yeah, really guys, before I got into cars, I thought it was very, very difficult business. And don't get me wrong, when you start dipping into some of the more high-end luxury sports cars, I'm sure things are crazy. But if you're just looking for a good full-size sedan, an economy car, something that is just going to get you from point A to point B, something nice, something casual, something you don't want to invest a lot of money in and you want to get a lot of value out of, that is the type of cars I deal with. That is the type of stuff I check, and that is exactly the type of car I'd recommend to somebody like you, somebody who's on the grind, trying to come up, make some money. Do not spend the money on a high-end luxury car when your goal is to make money. When you've made your money, go ahead, enjoy it, do whatever you want. But until then, stick with me. Let's rock out. Let's get some great cars. Let's put some miles on these cars, and let's have some fun. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If there's anything you guys want to see in the next video, I'd be happy to redo this video like I said. I'd be happy to make any video for you guys pertaining to the auction. And anyway, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Really appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. I can't wait to get more videos coming out. We have an awesome 4th of July video coming out where we're going to kind of get some people who used to work for the store come out and see the new stores that we got going on now, get some reactions. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be dope. So thanks a lot, you guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And I know I said I was going to make this video 5 minutes. It's looking more like 10 minutes. But thanks, guys, for the support. Again, really appreciate all of you. Peace.